God bless you guys. This is Sean here from Faith Brings Change. I just want to come on here and talk to you guys a little bit about, what I'm doing and for you guys, what God is calling you to. For me, I know from time to time I get off, this stuff is a bit dark, stuff that I'm sharing about Revelation and like things like that, the book of Revelation, things that are dark. And, one of the things God told me when I had my vision a while back, I told you guys, I think you remember hearing about it, just a dream where I was on a set of train tracks, or not train tracks, I was in the wilderness, and there were these party people, and that was the first time I'd come out of the world, but the world of Egypt was still in me, like being in the wilderness, and so I could see those people in the wilderness. They were calling me back to go to this place, and I just told the crowd and my sister, I can't go that way anymore. And I turned from them, and I went through this store called Hastings, and I went out, and it led me to a set. I saw, a set of train tracks going that direction that I just come from, like going, back into Babylon. I came out of that, and I saw, I was scared. I didn't know what to do in that wilderness. I was scared because I was hearing voices and things. And then I prayed, and I saw a chariot just appear out of nowhere. And I got in it, and this guy started talking to me about Elijah, and he told me, and I said, he mentioned Elijah and Elisha, and I said, which one are you? And he said, Elisha. And he started spraying me with this foam, and he said, these are many prayers that will cover you because I'm taking you to heaven and hell. The Lord is taking you to heaven and hell. And I didn't know what it meant, but years later, I got a bunch of prayers. And so the reason why I'm doing these dark things, this is not for everybody, guys, but because everybody has different callings. And sometimes God calls you to a place, but that's not where he necessarily wants you at right now. And sometimes he just has, because we all have each something to do and something different. And so for for Babylon, guys, for the stuff he was taking me into hell spiritually, he has given me a lot of hell visits, don't get me wrong, but a great deal of it is going into spiritual, because guys, when you watch a movie, when you set your mind on something, you're going into a realm when your mind is on something. You're either going up into heaven or you're going downward into hell, because there's two streams that lead back to God or away from him, and you can go down those streams, and those places are spiritual. And when we go to sleep, we're more sensitive to that stuff. And so the reason why I'm getting all these things, guys, is because the cup of Babylon, is filled up, and the world is all drinking from that wisdom, and it's made the world drunk, off of all those like esoteric movies. It's made them drunk that they're drinking it. And so God says he would measure the wine back to her, and you see it from the book of Isaiah and all those prophets. They saying they're going to measure the wine back, that she's drunk, and God's going to pour out a cup to her accordingly, if she's fit to drink, make her drunk off of it. She says she will not drink, and he says, yes, you will certainly drink. He's feeding her, basically, that woman, the world, he's feeding her own filth, as it were. And so there's a lot of, when it mentions Elijah, it references darkness and everything, and it talks about the book of Zechariah. It calls him Zerubbabel, and Zerubbabel means seed of Babylon. It also calls him the branch. And so I was called these names, and he was already speaking to me from that book, calling me those names for a long time, and I didn't know that was Elijah, but he was calling me those things. And so I go into a lot of dark places, and sometimes it can if you don't have your eyes on Christ, guys, it can be distracting. Like it could be distracting if my eyes weren't on Christ. I would get these dreams that would get me back into sin. I'd be weak, but because my eyes are so fastened on God, he told me he's going to take me to heaven and hell. He's going to spray me with those that foam, as many prayers that will cover me. And so when I cover myself with prayer, that's how I'm able to stay focused on God when I'm going in and God's giving me these dreams. And many times I know it'll be angels. I won't even want to have the dream. Like the other day, this girl, like a cheerleader from Suicide Squad. I never saw Suicide Squad, but Harley Quinn was doing this cheerleader move, and she just had herself stuck in a pose in darkness. And I was like, wait. I just turned my back, but these angels I knew were standing like that, and they were even giving me concepts and whispering to me things to tell me. And when I woke up and wrote the experience down, it was prophetic of just how the world is like cheerleading, like cheerleading. They got that false woman cheerleading, almost like Harley Quinn cheerleading them to hell, basically cheerleading them to go into the darkness, and it's to warn people. And so I kind of go down some very difficult alleys that would scare people. It's just, I've been in that darkness so much time. God used other prophets to tell me. They didn't know about it, but they said God wants you to be comfortable in all situations. Don't run from yourself. The more you run, the more you're going to get afraid, and it's going to cause panic attacks. So I stopped running, and I started listening, and I found that God, angels a lot of time were even using my dark experiences. If they can't get me so high to a level to where I could see the wonders of heaven and everything, then maybe we can use this darkness that Sean's seen, and it's kind of messed him up, and use it to help people get out of that darkness, and use it for prophetic symbols to tell them how to get out of that darkness and what it represents. And so that's what happens. God says that he'll cause all things to work together for good of those who love him. And so, different guys on here, Timothy and Jessica, we've both talked, and Timothy, you shared me your poetry, your stuff that you're writing. It's great, and I encourage you to keep doing that stuff. And the same, Jessica, you to keep doing your writings and stuff. So, guys, God has something for all of us to do that he wants us to just be diligent to work on it and pursue that. And don't worry, guys, the people that reject you, they call me, like, they've called me a cultist, a sorcerer. I was telling you, Jessica, they, call you a witch. I mean, they all call us, like, bad names when we serve God, but it's really funny to me because it means it's tormenting them that they're lost. And we're not trying to torment them. It's just, it's kind of like cute children responding, they kind of respond that way. And I to be honest, I don't get on those chat rooms anymore or live chats or however people interact nowadays, but I don't get on them myself just because of the Christians. I think we know most of them, they just don't listen. They're going to have to find out about that day of those 3 days of darkness. They'll find out the hard way. So I'm kind of just like, I'm saying, okay, guys, you want to have your cake and eat it too, as it were. You want to have whatever, go after it, and me, on the meantime, I'm getting all the words of prophecy of rebukes and everything for that time. And so when that day happens, I'm just going to unload it, like an unloaded gun, and it's not it's basically to get them buckled down to between two decisions. If they're not going to turn toward the Lord with all their heart, then it'll drive them the other way. So it's really, that's kind of my calling, it's a serious thing. And so I try to kind of explain so you guys can understand where I'm coming from. I love Yeshua and everything, and me and him, a lot of times we just sit and I just think about his arms around me when I'm sleeping, and I just rest and everything. But a lot of times he does more than often. His angels come and they give me these kind of darker side of the dreams to try to just prophesy people out of. It seems like I'm put here to prophesy out of that, pour that cup out, and the ones that are still in the world. It seems like that, because he's wanting to put the fear of the Lord is what we needed in the church, in a huge way. And once we get that, then I think everything's going to be grounded. But you guys out there that he has you in different walks, don't fear. Just keep doing what you're doing, guys. When he has you speaking, for him and about the living oracles and things, those are awesome. And I love you guys. I just wanted to share some stuff with you, but I'm going to let you go. God bless you all. Till next time. Shalom.